God never said walking in your purpose will be easy, just that it will be worth it. Sometimes the process feels painful because it's preparing you for something bigger than you can see. Don't run from the struggle. Purpose ain't pretty, but it's divine. What's good? And thank you for tuning in today. Piggybacking off of last week's episode, man, we're going to talk about purpose. And it ain't easy and it ain't pretty. So let's dive into this. What exactly do I mean by purpose? How do you define purpose? Purpose is your calling, whatever you're meant to do. If you look over the last couple of episodes I've talked about walking into something bigger than yourself, walking into something that whether you're creating it from the ground up or whether it's already been established, but walking into something that you feel you're called to do, you want to do. That's your calling, that's your purpose. But a lot of us, myself included, how? How do I do it? And even if I do it, where do I start? Building from the ground up ain't easy. Man, let me say that again. Building from the ground up ain't easy. It's not. There's times where I question it. I question what I'm doing. I've already told y'all this about my self-doubts and things. So let's not spend this episode talking about my self-doubts. Let's spend this episode talking about what I do to align myself and get myself ready for the breakthrough. One of the mottos that I love to say, stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. Yeah, stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. And that's one of the things I try to do all the time. Behind this podcast, as a Christian man, I'm prayed up all the time. I'm praying about what I'm doing and hoping that it reaches the right people. But I'm also working towards the mark. Now, let's get something straight. I love the movie Field of Dreams. And throughout this whole process of doing this, all I've heard in my head is, if you build it, they will come. The echo voice. For those of y'all who have seen it, if you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. It's a wonderful movie. But I'm not here to promote Field of Dreams. But throughout this whole process, I've been hearing that if you build it, they will come. And I've been gearing myself up towards having something for when they come. So I started the podcast. Kudos. That was good. But that's not the end of it though. That can't be the end of it. It's not just if I starting the podcast now people are going to start flocking towards me. No, there's more to it. You have to put in work. I feel a lot of people have this idea that I'm called to do it, so when I go and I do it, I'm going to just be great at it. People are going to applaud me. People are going to cheer me on. People are going to, attaboy. That's not the case a lot. A lot of times you're going to hear silence. It's going to be crickets, like you just heard. A lot of times it's just going to be you speaking into the void and trying to make sense of it, asking yourself like, man, why? But you can't stop just because you feel uncomfortable. Uncomfortability promotes growth. That's another thing I believe. If you're uncomfortable, you're possibly in a growing spot. Now, I'm not saying all uncomfortability is growth. I'm not. But some uncomfortable situations, some uncomfortable positions promote growth. I mean, think about it. Back when you were a kid and you were growing up, you had growing pains. You would get sick, catch a bad cold, or get sick out the blue. And then while you're sick and you're resting and you're taking your medicine and everything, people look at you like, oh man, you had a growth spurt. And you're all like, no, I didn't. And they're all like, yeah, bro, you got bigger. So again, in that uncomfortable moment of being sick or whatever, boom, you grew up. In the process of going through a little bit of pain, like when your wisdom teeth come in, it hurts. That's why a lot of people get their wisdom teeth removed. Growth promotes pain. You need pain in order to grow. Now, I'm not speaking to the masochist inside of you. I understand there are some people who love pain. I'm not saying that. I'm not speaking to that person. I'm speaking in the aspects of sometimes, a lot of times, you're going to be uncomfortable. Yeah, we'll just say it like that. A lot of times you will be uncomfortable in your growing season. And that is meant to prepare you for what's next to come. But even in your uncomfortability, you have to still position yourself for the blessing that is to come. For me as a Christian, I'm gonna call it a blessing because that's how I look at it. Now, however you look at it is how you look at it. But for me, for the blessings to come, I have to position myself and be ready to receive it. Now, like you heard last week, a lot of times you heard it from Lay. A lot of the times it's not a no, it's a not right now. You're not ready for this blessing. You're not ready to walk through this door. You need to position yourself. You need to gear yourself up. You need to prepare yourself more so that way you could be a good steward over what you're about to walk into. Look at it like this. Would you give $1 million to a kid, to a teenager, to somebody who's not financially sound? Or even look at it. Look at a lot of people who won the lottery. They're broke now because they weren't financially sound. They got the blessing, but did not know how to be good stewards of the blessing. So you have to be a good steward over what you're about to walk into. So that's where preparation comes into play. You have to prepare yourself. So how do you prepare yourself? Well, I can't speak for y'all. I'm gonna speak for me. So things that I'm doing to prepare myself. Granted, I don't have nobody laying this out for me. There's no fairy godmother or fairy godfather who's waving a magical wand and telling me what to do or how to do it. I pray and I go. So I'm constantly researching. I don't watch like full series of other podcasts, but I look at other podcasters. I'm on TikTok a lot. I look at how people do TikTok lives. I look at some of the things that they talk about and the engagement that they have. I'm constantly exposing myself to the area, we'll call it area, to the area that I'm in or that I'm coming into and understanding how it works, how I can do it, how I can do it better. Again, starting the podcast was the beginning. Yeah, it was a monumental thing for me, but that was just the beginning of the race. That was me coming into the race. That wasn't me getting across the finish line. That was me coming into the race. So for a lot of y'all, starting your goal or your dream or whatever, that's just you getting into the race. That's not saying you're at the finish line. There's still more work to be done. Look at it as you finally settled on your plot of land. We'll use that analogy. You settled on your plot of land that you're going to build this castle on. So now that you've settled on your plot of land, you still got to break ground and start the building process. So I'll tell anybody, it's on the bio. What's Good Family Podcast is under construction. Each episode, each person that comes on, they all go into the foundation of what I want this podcast to be. Again, I don't know if y'all have heard this before, but if you haven't, you're going to hear it for the first time. You're going to get out of something what you put into something. If you put nothing into it, you're going to get nothing out of it. If you put the bare minimum into it, you're going to get the bare minimum out of it. That's how it works. There's no if, ands, or buts around it. That's just how it works. You have to put the work in and you got to do the work. Finding your calling and stepping into it is one thing, but there's work that goes behind it. So for me, it's researching, looking up topics, trying to find the right guests, trying to make sure I don't sound like a complete idiot up here. But a lot of this is also off of my own personal experience. Who's more experienced at me than me? That's the logic. That's the mindset. That's where I'm at for right now. until I can get better. I'll say it like this. You give 100% of what you're able to do at the current level you're able to do it until you get to that next level. And then you'll start all over. And then you'll get to 100%. And then you'll go to the next level. So there's levels to this. You give 100% of where you're at the moment. And then when you progress more, you give more. So if you want to be an artist, surround yourself with artists, with artistic people. Comic books, mangas, going into art art museums, looking how artists draw and paint, understanding paint. If you want to be a singer, understanding vocal modulations, understanding how to use your vocal cords properly, understanding what pitch you're in, what key you sing in. If you want to be a politician, understanding politics. You don't let's be honest, you don't have to go to school and get a college degree to start your dream. A lot of people want to be, oh well, when I go to school, I'm gonna go to school and then I'm gonna start my dream. No, you start it now. Understanding politics. What kind of political person do you want to be? It doesn't start, you start forming your ideas of what you want your platform to be now. If you want to be a chef, I could go down the list. But at the end of the day, you figure out your calling and then you start preparing yourself to get in line for the next thing to come, for that blessing. I'm going to call it a blessing. I'm not trying to offend anybody. So if you're offended, oh well, I don't know what to tell you. Use another word in your head. But you gear yourself up for what's next to come. Period. Just starting your goal, or just figuring out your goal is, yeah, it's a monumental thing, but it's you getting to the starting line. Once you get to the starting line, now you got to start running your race and you got to start gearing yourself up appropriately and accordingly and doing what you got to do to get to where you want to get to. Again, it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop just because you found something out. I had an epiphany. It doesn't stop right there. No. For me, everything's a learning lesson. From my coworkers to my grandparents to my parents to my wife to my kids, everything's a learning lesson because they're watching. Again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. In the quietness, it's not that people don't see you. It's that they're trying to figure out if they're going to support you. And they're trying to see if you're going to be consistent. Yes, that is my belief. They're trying to see if you're going to be consistent and if you're worth supporting. I hate to say it, not everybody's going to support you or back you. But if you are consistent enough and if you keep putting out the work, people are going to gravitate. The people who need to gravitate to you will gravitate to you. That's just how it happens. You will get a lot of no's or a lot of not right nows or a lot of silence before you get your first yes. And you can't let that stop you. You got to keep gearing and preparing yourself. I'm a firm believer. The battle starts in the mind. Success starts up here. You got to have a winning mentality. Now, I could talk to y'all about walking in confidence and everything, but I'm going to be honest with you. I'm still learning to walk in confidence. Now, for me, my confidence, the confidence that I do have, it comes from, A, it comes from God. B, it comes from my family. I'm blessed to have a family that is supporting me 110% behind achieving this goal and making this podcast everything I can make it out to be. And I understand there are some people who don't have that kind of support system. Again, as I've said in a previous episode, What's Good Family Podcast will be your support system. We will help you. Again, we are under construction, but hey, let's come up together. Let's do it together. Let's rise together. T.I. said it best. Get to where you want to get to and then reach back and bring some more people up. I haven't gotten to where I want to get to, but I'm not going to let that stop me from bringing somebody else with me, because the journey is funner when you have somebody doing the journey with you. That's my mind. That's my mindset. It's always funner when there's two people on the journey. I mean, really look at a lot of your epic storytellers, epic comic books. They're eventually they're the partner. I mean, Batman eventually got Robin. Superman has Supergirl. You got the Wonder Twins. Wonder Twins activate. Green Lantern has the Green Lantern Corps. Avengers, they got each other. So ultimately, whether you look at them as a sidekick or not, you get a friend along with you in the journey. So it's always funner when there's two people on the journey. But don't be afraid to walk your journey alone, because there are some things that you're going to have to do alone, regardless of who's with you, because it's at the end of the day, it's your goal, it's your dream, it's your vision. Nobody else can do it for you. So you have to get the mindset right and prepare yourself, whatever that looks like. If you're a runner, practice running. If you're a weightlifter, lift weights. Whatever it is you got to do to get yourself to that level. I mean, think about it, man. I like just saying this. I'm thinking about a lot of. I remember a lot of the wrestlers that are legends now. I remember their start out. I remember when The Rock first came out on WWF at the time. I think it was. Yeah, it was WWF. I remember when he first came onto the scene. I'm about to show my age. I remember I remember all of that, but they all started somewhere and they worked to achieve their goals, and now they're legends. So I'm sorry, that was just a one-off. But anyways, you got to prepare yourself, man. You got to get yourself ready for your blessing or to walk in your purpose. Again, I keep hearing it in my head. If you build it, they will come. But building it is not just enough. In that movie, and I'm going to talk about the movie for a minute, Field of Dreams. In that movie, yeah, he built the baseball field, and somebody came out the cornfield and they started throwing the ball. And then the person he was throwing the ball with went back and grabbed some of their friends. And then eventually they had towards the end of the movie, there was a whole baseball game going on and everything else. He built it, and the ghosts of the baseball legends from the past showed up. Sorry, spoiler, if you haven't seen it. Don't sue me. But I said all that to say, yeah, he built the baseball field and somebody came out the cornfield, but that's kind of how your dreams work. It's not, it's all it takes is one person to go back and tell a friend. And then that friend comes in, and then they go back and they tell a friend. And then boom, before you know it, you're where you need to be. In this day and age, we have the internet. All it takes is one view for you to go viral. All it takes is one good punchline, one good whatever, and you're viral. Again, I'm talking about in my field because I'm in the content creation field. But that's all it takes is just one. So you got to be prepared each and every time. Each and every time you go to do whatever it is you're called to do, you got to be ready for it. Opportunity only knocks once, but it strikes like lightning. Now the thing about lightning, they say lightning never strikes in the same place twice. Food for thought. Again, I'm going to say it like this in closing. Finding your goal or your dream or whatever it is you feel you're called to do is just coming to the starting line. Now it's time to run the race. And running the race ain't easy. You're going to fall. You're going to hit your toes. You're going to scrape your knees. You may scrape your face. Again, and I'll say this, it's not about how you fall, but it's about how you get back up. And what do you do after you've gotten back up? Do you quit or do you keep running? Food for thought. But y'all already know. If you're new to this, go on and hit that like, follow, comment, share, and subscribe button. If you're true to this, leave a comment, join the conversation. Let me know what you think. Pull up a chair. Welcome to the family. Peace.